Marvel Rivals is a game that honestly feels fairly balanced. It's not perfect by any means. You've got some characters that are maybe a tad bit stronger or more applicable than the rest, and that also means you've got some that don't quite hit the mark. This is Black Widow, one of those non-mark hitters, which is weird because she's a sniper. A lot of you are probably familiar with her, either because of her relatively major role in the MCU, or because you have played with or against her in Marvel Rivals. She's not exactly smiled upon by the player base of Rivals, having amongst the lowest pick and win rates of any character in both casual and competitive. In my own seasonal tier list, I have placed her at the bottom for all of them. Mainly due to her lack of use and my own lack of struggle against her, but that was when I realized that this idea of everyone thinking she's weak was actually her greatest strength. Let me elaborate on that. In Rivals, when you play Widow, nobody is expecting anything from you. Sometimes even your own teammates. But the funny thing is, Widow is strong. Like, really strong. Sure, she might not be as versatile or effective or even as easy as other characters, but she's not so bad that you have no answers for anything. I started playing Widow because I was challenged by a friend to get an MVP with Widow in Quick Play, but I had much more fun than I thought I would with the character. Due to the fairly common idea of Widow being among the worst heroes in the game, I've been in countless situations where the enemy just assumes I'm a free kill and rushes me with reckless abandon. And this is one of your greatest strengths. This Iron Fist solo ults me and dies for it. People underestimate you for picking Widow. Use that. In this clip, it's the top of Season 2.5 and it's my first time using the Punisher team-up. I activate the team-up and then shred this Loki, but this Punisher sees me. At this point, I've taken him down to below half, and he just grazed me with his shotgun shot, which means he sees that I have almost all of my health. But he is so sure that he will win this interaction that he just holds W and dies for it. Look what you have done, Frank. Your support died and you got yourself killed trying to avenge him. Anyways, say hi to your wife and kids for me. Widow has given me some of my most hype games because you literally feel like an underdog. Oh my god! But that doesn't mean you can't get results. There are several high-level and highly threatening Widow players out there, and they are proof this character can and should be taken seriously. It's not all easy, though. There's another factor of playing Widow I haven't mentioned yet. See, there's a reason that Widow's amongst the lowest pick and win rates of any character. She's pretty hard to get good results with. When you're a sniper character, every shot counts. Sure, you could say that this applies to any sniper in any shooter, but in the 6v6 format of Marvel Rivals, one player underperforming is all the enemy team needs to roll you. She has no way to really assist her teammates, and is usually at her best when hidden away or all the way in the back line. If you're not hitting 45% of your shots, chances are your numbers are gonna falter. You know exactly when the shot you just missed is the reason that Spider-Man got away to kill your poor Ultron. You see every time you could have changed the course of the entire fight but failed to do so. It is crushing. Black Widow is what's called a pick character, in that you are really good at singling out an opponent in a crowd and making them hurt. Looking at top Widow player Kenzo I mentioned earlier, they pretty much exclusively use her ult to guarantee high value picks, not devastate crowds of enemies with the slowdown and damage vulnerability effect. That's right, even her ultimate, an ability that's meant to be a tide turner in a fight, isn't on par with most of the rest of the cast. In fact, it's a contender for one of the worst ults in the game. When you are underperforming as Widow, especially if you're just trying her out or using her for a quest, it's not uncommon you'll be losing a match and think, man, I should switch to any other character. And this idea is prevalent. Widow's self-preservation is rough. Her stun is useless if your enemy keeps their distance, and her power jump will only get you so far. She doesn't get extra health or tool to give her invincibility, she is exactly as you get her. So when you're struggling to keep up with your team, or even the match itself, you will very plausibly be tempted to go back to something more reliable. So yeah, nobody expects you to do well with Widow, it's kinda justified due to her lackluster kit, and she's a very personal character because you know exactly when you're underperforming. Not gonna lie, that part's pretty rough. But what about the times when it just works? I'm gonna harbor back to a point I made earlier. When you play Wideo, you feel like an underdog. The previously mentioned notions people have about Wideo and the fact that she's one of the hardest characters to perform well with means that those games where you are doing well feel so good. I swear, nobody in this game makes me pop off as much as Wideo. It's those moments where you get dived or put into a tough spot and you're able to overcome the odds and push past and just win that feels so gratifying. And her gameplay is as diverse as you make it. She can very much function as a more aggressive character. Pretty often I just say screw it and dive headfirst into the danger to see how I do. No other character comes close to her feeling of I earned that whenever you 1v1 someone and come out victorious. You know that if you're caught overextending or with your back to a wall, you have nothing but your aim, movement, and knowledge of the matchup to get you out of there. Wideo's gameplay is entirely reliant on your ability to aim for opponents, read the fight, and execute those high-value targets. This means that when you're performing well as Wideo, you really feel it. Pulling off her combos against dives, ducking and weaving with her sprint, scaring the crud out of their flyers from across the map. When you perform well with Wideo, you are an absolute menace. The world is in your hands. And that's how it feels to play Wideo. When you're hitting your shots, stuffing those pesky dives, thriving with the subpar tools you were given, it feels great. She's easily one of the most rewarding characters I've played in this game and is the reason I wanted to kickstart this series. And that's what I think this is. The beginning of a series. I already have some ideas of who I'm planning to do next, and I had a ton of fun making this video, so let me know what you thought. And hey, if you want to see more of these, like, subscribe, and listen to this, okay? I will be reading every comment, so please tell me what you thought, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you. Adios.